Hello, good people. Welcome to my cake kitchen. I'm Gladys. I love cake, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating. I'm back to filling a cake. Okay, we're filling a 2-tier cake. I'm going to take you through all the tips and tricks for you to see the raw process of how I do that. I'm going to start by telling you I already have a cake board on here. I've done this time and again, so if I seem a little bit fast, it's because the information is already available for you. I wasn't supposed to be back, but hey, here's some bonus videos for you to catch a bit on. I'm actually using the ganache plate method just to be able to get some clean, sharp lines. We have 2 round cakes. I'm not going to waste your time. We're just jumping right in. I have one of the cakes already here that I'm going to set on a cake card because I need it to set correctly. Okay. And these cake layers are chilled a little bit. There's lollipop. Yeah, people, I don't know what I'm doing. Half of the time I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go. And then I realize, oh, there's a lot to do and I don't want you guys to miss out. Plus, I like hanging out with you people. So we are filling and stacking the lemon cake, right? So if you've been here before, you would have seen me fill and stack a cake. But we're doing this so that you can still get a look in. So there's a whole cake. It's a lemon drizzle cake. I've already drizzled the lemon syrup on it, right? It is going to be filled with French buttercream, and then inside that will be lemon curd. Now this is where it gets really tricky, because whilst filling buttercream can be really simple, if you have soft fillings like lemon curd, you want to be very careful. So you know what, I'm going to try and not cut corners and take you through the entire process so we can learn something out of it. So bear with me. In this small kitchen, some days making decisions can be hard, right? So I have a long tub here, and what I'm doing is putting the icing bag over that. Why am I using the small icing bag? I should get the big one. I'm getting the big icing bag because it's going to be a lot. And if I'm not talking to you in the chat, I'm not ignoring you at all, because the cakes I'm working with are super delicate. I don't want them to come to room temperature. I need them to still be chill whilst I'm working with them. Okay, so for you to be able to keep the soft fillings in the cake, watch how I do this, because what I'm doing is, when you use a piping bag, you get a uniform amount of buttercream on the cake. But even better, you create a border or a dam into which your soft filling will go, because soft fillings are lovely, but they're tricky. They enhance taste and mouthfeel, but if you get it wrong and it seeps out, you will have problems with your cake. So there we have it. This is homemade curd. I made it right on here. There's only a spoonful on there, and then we are going to have the next cake go over it. There are rules for filling and stacking, and if you've been here, I have discussed this in detail. Make sure your heavy layers are on the bottom of the cake. Okay, so as you can see, the layers are not even, which is fine. I can work with that. But as you can see, I need them to be set together. The lemon is very delicate. And these, normally, I don't bake and decorate same day. I am just running out of time and schedule. So these cakes, these 2 on the bottom, were baked this morning. So I've had to chill them. But even if I fill them, I'm going to set them to chill before I work on them tomorrow. Okay, so there's still more lemon curd. By this way, we don't lose out on buttercream and we don't lose out on the curd. But if you can see, it's cracking. That's the trouble with fresh cake. If you're working with fresh cake, it is a lot of headache, because as you can see, but the cake is going to be covered in ganache, so hopefully it will set. And it is baked so delicate and nice. If you know me, I like trimming my cakes. We are not trimming this cake. I am not. The only parts I will trim are the small bits just to even the cake out. but I will not be trimming to kind of like clean the surface at all. So we have 3 layers of cake. Now, if you're a beginner who has never filled or stacked a cake before, this is where I will say to you, go and set this cake in the fridge and leave it alone. Leave the cake alone. Because people, if I stick with my own advice, there's a crack over here, but we will handle that crack, don't worry, right? And leaving the cake to chill, right? If you've been here, I have always worked with my cakes when they are either at room temperature. I'm changing the piping bag because actually what am I doing? Okay. 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 I can't do that. There you go. There you go. Wow, that's a tall cake. Okay. If you're a beginner, I'll say leave this cake alone. Because can I tell you, this is my tallest stacked cake. Let's see how tall that cake is. It's standing at exactly 9 inches tall. 9 inches tall. It's a tall cake. This is where I'm going to leave it. I'm not doing anything else. I am not doing anything else. Whoo! Okay. Okay. It is all evenly stacked. Okay. What do you think about the cake? What do you think? I love it when it's this gorgeous. Okay. It's lovely. It's stacked together. It is so good. But I'm scared. Can you see I'm scared? Gladys, this is where you go and you ruin everything. Ish. No, Glad. Don't do anything. Don't do it. Okay. Put it in the fridge to set. Yep. Okay. Right. Because it's going in the fridge overnight. Actually, no. I'm going to just lift it like that. It's 9 inches tall. That's a tall cake. So we're going to put it in the fridge to chill, and then I'll take it out when it's set and then wrap it in cling film because it has to set overnight. I cannot do anything. The lemon is too delicate. Let's go put it away and then we will come and talk, okay? Remember, I told you, don't bake and decorate the same day, and plus, filling a cake when... Let's go and put it away. There's nothing to say. Okay. Do I look like I'm scared? Whew, I was scared. Not anymore. Not anymore. My troubles are nearly over. My troubles are nearly over. I still need a board though. Now, let's have a board here. Whew. How am I feeling? Okay. Now, let's... Okay. Okay, there you go. That's another one. And then we have that, and this time it's just buttercream. We don't need any filling. Yes, taps. Yes, the red velvet is going on top of the lemon cake. Okay. Nothing happened. You saw nothing. I know. That could have been bad. The glassware could have gone flying. I am so happy you're here. Because you get to see the saffron. It's not all glossy and nice, you know. When the cake is finally decorated and I put it up and it looks so shiny in the photo. The chaos is real. Look. Okay, there you go. Tabitha is like, girl, that could have been bad. Don't I know it, honey? Oh, God. Why do I feel like sometimes my spirit is leaving my body? There you go. Breathe. Like when you hear me breathing, I'm on a live, baby. When you hear me breathing, I'm trying to regulate my angst about like what I'm doing. Let me just get the boys in. I think there's no key. One by one. Oh, amen. I can't sing. Ooh. Oh, okay. You went out one way, came out two different ways. Did you pick up some socks, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
His trains too.
Okay. Oh, and you brought me tea. People, you should clap for the...
Why is Paris laughing?
Tabitha Pierce, but she's Tabitha, okay?
Why is Tabitha laughing?
Tabitha is laughing because Tabitha can see Mama is sweating, okay? Tabitha is Mama's internet friend who knows Mama is literally sweating. Like Mama is hot, she's bothered, she's flustered. She's like, oh, this is a lot.
Okay.
I'm just gonna play a bit and then we can do Halo Reach.
Okay.
Okay. Are those regular ones or school?
School.
Okay. that's fair.
Rio, let me take the goodies upstairs.
Trying to calm my nerves. Well, sir. Sir. Okay, that is set for me. I still need another one. That's all right. Papa, the little guy sold you drinks. He came, he said hello, and then he ran off. And you're like, hello, little guy. And he's like, goodbye. He's gone. Okay, there you are. There you go. So we filled this cake too. I wanted this to be 4, but I changed my mind. 3 is fine, because that will serve, the 9-inch will serve up to 40, and then this will serve 8 to 12. So that's about 57s, and this is supposed to be totally about 45 So it doesn't matter how you build the 2-tier. It's important to understand what servings you are aiming for, and these will give the exact servings I'm looking for. So we're good, right? So we're gonna go store this in the fridge.
Ooh, what cake is that?
It's a red velvet.
That's just what it was made out of. What is it supposed to be? What did you want it to be, or just a red cake?
Sorry?
What did you want it to be? Just a red cake, or just a...
Just a red cake. It's fine.
Oh, okay. I like my Rhino Sports Academy certificate.
Yeah, you did well over there. Ooh. There's a new friend in the chat who says, oh, I love your cooking, honey. Thank you. I'm not cooking though. I'm stacking cakes and my belly is falling apart on it. But hey, we are doing it. Okay, so let's go stack this thing up. There's still more stacking to do, you know. There's the... Sir?
Yes?
Do you want to turn that down, please? I can
Okay.
hit...
One sec.
Okay, thank you. Ooh.
There we go.
Okay, thank you. Can you tell that I feel a little bit stressed? Okay, I do, but we're going to get through it. Okay, we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through this entire thing. You and I, we're gonna do this. We'll be all right. Okay, we want to let this chill completely, otherwise it will shift. So we want to leave that to set while I clear up the worktop. Okay. I like the curd look. Homemade curd is always going to feel top 10. There you go. Okay, where am I? Okay. Let's go and fill this with more buttercream. If you're wondering what Daniel Bedingfield, the only song I remember Daniel Bedingfield by is that love song. If you're not the one, something like that. I forget the title, but if Daniel Bedingfield is only known for one song, that would probably be me being ignorant, but that's all I remember. So I don't know. I've got to get through this. So you go from falling in love to getting through what? Anyway, I am trying to get through this task right here. Oh. Yeah, if you're not the one. I remember that song. That song actually tells us how old we are now, isn't it? Because if you don't know that song, I don't know where you've been. And his sister, Natasha Bedingfield, she's also known for a particular song. I know she's known for a particular song. I can't remember it. Ooh. I gotta get through this. If you know the one. Somehow I think I kind of remember the tune. Okay. Let's just get to work, shall we? Okay. And then we go. The red velvet are the steadier layers, so they go on the bottom. And as always, please don't be like me. The ganache is shifting, so the buttercream is shifting too, and the cake is shifting, which is not what I desire over here. So let me try and scrape some of this off. Can you see what, if you don't secure it properly, what it looks like? It shifts. See, that's just reason for a shifty, unstable cake. Whoo! Okay. All right. Okay. Hmm. Oh. Okay. That's no good for me. Okay. Now we are starting with the vanilla cake layers. We'll start with the more sturdy one. Dapita, have a great day. I'm sure you're gone now, but yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Yeah, I have just been stuck here, just looking and thinking cake. So ooh, okay. 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 I think that's all I need for this too. Let me just add that. Oh, Dolly, you finished work early. Well, you did finish early yesterday. You had stuff to do yesterday. There you go. So, let's see. Okay. Trying to think. That should work. Okay. This is fine. This won't be 4 layers because this is a 7 of 20 anyway. So 4 layers, 2 red velvet, 2 vanilla. Right. And let's give it a wipe. Okay, that's fine. Dolly, we hope you are having a good day. Right, the thing with red velvet is that the crumbs go everywhere. For such a moist cake, the crumbs just go everywhere, right? So we're finished filling the red velvet. So these are like, the 2-tier cake is now set, and the single (6" is also, this is a simple drip cake. So I'm going to put that in, and then I'm going to clear up what is left is going to be stacked up as another 6-inch cake, but that will be later. For now, my focus are the 2 main cakes that are going out over the weekend. That's where my attention is. So let's go put this in the fridge. Okay, now we are done with the filling. There's quite a lot of work I need to do, and my head is like, I don't know, but we are here. We are here. If I close my eyes, that is just me trying to regulate, because filling a cake can just sometimes feel a little bit okay. Now our cake is all set in the fridge. Let's wipe up. Now, when you are filling a cake, here for some of you, you who bake and decorate, right? Do you find filling a cake taxing and given all else? Would you do it or you would skip it? Fellow cake decorators in the chat, this is for you. Because I don't like filling cakes. There are too many little things to do that, given the circumstance. Dolly is asking, did I use the Swiss meringue buttercream? I used the Swiss meringue buttercream to fill the cake you just saw. The earlier one was French buttercream. But yes, the cake you just saw me fill is the Swiss meringue buttercream. Here's what's left of it. So the first one was French buttercream because I needed the creamy, rich mouthfeel to kind of, and sweetness to kind of balance out the lemon. But yes, the Swiss, which is what I have right now, is what was used, part of it was used to fill the 6-inch cake. So the rest will be used to fill the rest of the 6-inch cake I have here. It's quite a task, but hey, I am happy. We have managed to kind of do a lot of it. Okay. Now you have my attention. Dolly says, all right, I need to try French buttercream. Do you have a recipe? Yes! Dolly, French buttercream is one of my most remade recipes time and time again. I think 2 weeks ago, I was making French buttercream right on here. And then last week, or is it this week on Tuesday we made the Swiss? I can't remember now, but in the last 3 weeks, you'll find French buttercream on here. So go check it out. And I did a whole series where I covered all the different types of buttercreams on a live. And In the description box, you'll find the details. So, yeah. Oh, I'm just tired. But I'm happy I've managed to fill the cake. Right, when it comes to filling and stacking a cake, are there any questions or things that you want to know about, or something that bugs you that you don't understand, or even throughout the process of what I did? Is there a question you want to ask, or is there something you observe that you think, oh, why is this done this way? Because the difference with what I just did here compared to probably my last immediate cakes where I was filling and stacking is that these cakes are close to fresh. They've been baked in less than 24 hours, right? And I still have to stack them. And normally, if you've been on this channel, I try very much not to work with fresh cakes, because there's a science about fresh cakes and how stable they are and how delicate they can feel, because the crumb is not set. So I'm kind of going against my own advice for good reason, because I'm short of time and I have to work very quickly. So I am employing the use of the refrigerator, something I don't generally recommend highly, to kind of encourage use over here as well. Do you see what I mean? So Dolly is asking, I'll look for it. Oh, okay, right. So Iman says you were Iman says you are so pretty, ma'am, but you look a little strict. Thank you, darling. I take it you've just only been here. Have you? Because Zara, I don't know what you're on about. Thank you. It's a compliment though. And being strict doesn't necessarily, it's not such a bad thing. I don't know. I don't know what makes me come across that way to you, which is fine. And I appreciate your point of view on that. It's fun. We have fun here. But I'll ask, is being strict being fun also? Because we have a lot of fun here. And if you didn't know it, stick around. Maybe you're catching me on a day where I'm like, my energy levels are down and I've got work to do. I'm not justifying my predisposition here to you at all. But I think we have a lot of fun here. Lollipop, Dolly, and the rest of you, what do you have to say? Zara says, I came here. You just look sweeter now. How long have you been in the chat? Is today your first time, Zara? Is it your first time here, or you've been here at other times? Because if you catch me on a day where I am giving you a full-on tutorial, then yes, the fun is not there. We're in class, okay? I'm like the fun teacher where we can have fun and we can go and play and we can try and do both. But if you catch me on a teaching day, I'm not fun at all. That I can tell you. I'm focused on giving you the information and making sure you get the best out of your decorating experience. So no, it's not going to be all fun. But once the job is done and there's something fun to catch up on, why not? Oh, this is your first time and you're 5 minutes in. Oh, girl, you are just coming in. Don't worry, just stick around and you will change your opinion, I hope. If it doesn't change, it's fine. As long as whatever you're getting is helpful and valuable to you, it doesn't matter, does it? Right, Dolly was asking a question. Dolly says, how many days do you have to bake your cake before you fill, frost a wedding cake? A wedding cake, I will say it depends. But okay, so let's break it down and let's see if it will make sense. If I had a wedding cake, like depending on what wedding cake, it's minimum a 2-tier, which is a 7 and a 5 inch, and it should be ready for Saturday. I start work on Tuesday. The baking has to be done and completed for Tuesday so that the cake is set complete through Wednesday. But I don't start filling and stacking till Thursday, depending on what cake it is. If it's a fondant cake, the job probably starts on Monday, right? And then filling and stacking is on Wednesday. And then covering is on Thursday. and then the decorating is on Friday. But we're not talking like all days. I mean, on average, you're working up to about 9-10 hours on a cake, depending on what you are doing. So a 2-tier wedding cake fondant for Saturday, I start on Monday, which means I need, what, 4 to 5 days, if you like. And a 2-tier non-fondant cake, I start on a Tuesday. And literally, you've seen me kind of develop this whole thing on Tuesday, because I made the buttercream on Tuesday, where we came and made the Swiss meringue buttercream, amongst other things we did. And then yesterday I came and we baked the red velvet, and we did whatever else we did. And then I did that for the first 3 hours, from the 3 to 6 o'clock nearly. And then we transitioned to 9 o'clock when I came back, when you saw us and went to sleep. And I'm back today again, right? So between last night, when I finished around 11 o'clock, turned the cameras off, it was the washing up, it was the tidying, it was the reset. And that's all of what I did yesterday. And I was going to bed at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. and I didn't wake up until not 10 this morning. And 10 in the morning, I have madly responsibility. And by the time I finished, it was 1 p.m., right? 1 p.m., got ready, came back here. The only difference is that if I wasn't on camera, the time that I'll probably take to go and shower and look like this is excluded. So it will be going towards maybe a different part of my task. For instance, I'll be covering the fondant boards, or I'll be doing some of the decorating stuff. Whereas, because I'm on camera, the day starts a little early. So throw in another 2 hours and add another extra hour for every time I am engaged with you. And that extends. But it still doesn't take away the number of days I need. So much so that part of why I am kind of doing what I'm doing now is because I'm behind schedule, because I didn't factor in the inconveniences of my moving parts. Do you see what I'm saying? So a simple answer is, depending on what cake it is, I'm going to need more days. But at least minimum, for a non-fondant cake, you need 3 to 4 days. For a fondant cake, you need anything from 4 to 6 days. And then depending on what cake it is, like whether it's a 2-3 tier cake, the bake itself is really not that thing, because you can always manage how to bake the thing, but it's the decorative element. So a more simplistic cake, maybe 4 to 6 days. A very complex cake, and you probably need 2 weeks to prep all the back end stuff, so that you spend a whole week of 6 days baking and stacking. I hope that kind of makes sense. How many days though, Dolly, how many days do you normally give yourself? Because the thing with the question and the answer here is that there's really no right way, okay? And there is really no strict guide to how you manage your time. For me, I find wedding cakes extremely stressful. Even with all my experience, I find them so stressful. I don't know if it's because I just mentally have the pressure of thinking it's somebody's wedding, and I don't want to be that person who doesn't take it seriously, or leaves myself no room for adjustment, if you like. So I just want to work. The more time I have with a wedding cake, the more settled I feel about it. So I do not want to be doing like the hardest work the night of the wedding cake, the morning before, you know, and you're busy trying to kind of like do the flowers and everything. No, I want to leave myself as much room. But perhaps if you, because of your schedule, you work and you want to crunch in time, then you could do it less. The difference though is that I just get worn out. Stress and tiredness literally just will break me down. So if I took a wedding cake order and it's a 2-tier wedding cake, and I don't manage my time and days far in advance, and I spend a whole week stressing about it, working too close to the yield time, I need a whole month to recover from that stress. And that doesn't help me be efficient in terms of my own well-being and productivity. Does that make sense? Which is why I've just broken down what works for me. But that doesn't have to be your guide. What do you do? What's the average time you have decorated a cake, like a simple two-tier cake? Double-edged sword. Double-edged sword is calling me a Fua Gladys. Abrante, to say. Kwamna, to say. Right. Double-edged sword. Great to have you back. Right. Dolly, 2 days before the wedding. Whoo, girl. I don't know what magician you have, but if it's Jesus, send him. No, I don't want Jesus to come and help me work on a cake 48 hours before. Why? I know you have a full-time job and you have other responsibilities, but why? Why 2 days? Says why? Whoo, it's a lot. E. Double-edged sword. Brakwamna, how are you? We're all right over here. You left us in peace yesterday and we're still here. Okay? Great to have you back. I'm waiting for Dolly because is it because of a conflict of time and sort of being tight for time because of other responsibilities? Because 2 days, and the 2 days, does that include baking? What's my favorite thing to bake? What's my favorite thing to bake? Zara is asking. Double-edged sword was asking me this yesterday, and I couldn't tell because I bake a lot of things, right? So it's hard to kind of like think of one thing that I love to bake because I really do enjoy the baking process generally, right? But perhaps my favorite thing to eat is a simple cupcake, and that's just because there's something about a great tasting cupcake that is warm from the oven with a delicate crumb, which is moist and soft, and yet there is a crispy crust to it, and you break into it and you're like, oh, I like a very simple cake. Okay, when I'm picking off the top of my cakes when I make them and I'm crunching on them, that's just a happy thing. Okay, I like a good tasting cake with no fuss. That's something to eat, but something to bake, I'm neither here nor there because I bake for the satisfaction and the process. I enjoy the baking process, just looking at flour and sugar and putting all of them together and then watch it becomes this thing that brings so much joy. I like that. And that is still the same for whether I'm baking a red velvet, I'm making a chocolate, I'm making a vanilla, or I'm making something a lot more advanced and technical. I still enjoy that anyway. In fact, I enjoy the things where I have to pull different things from the concept of a cake. For instance, I guess as a business, this is not helpful for me, but I'll tell you. As a business, you are almost like not scalable if you treat each cake as to a person, because then it makes it very personalized and very niche because every person is different and it takes a lot of time to kind of work it out. But my happiest moments, as in all the baking moments excite me when I really am intentional about the baking choices I am making. But the peak of that happiness is when I have to look at you and think about what you've told me about your taste preferences, your choices around cake and how you feel about eating it. If I have to look at you and think of you through that point of view to kind of create a cake for you, that just makes me happy. So I have customers who like, and this is a typical conversation. I was looking for a cake and I came across you and I just thought, can you make me a cake? And normally when we're having this conversation, the customer is coming from the point of view, cake is cake, any cake, right? And then we start getting into the weeds of, okay, do you know what I do? It's like, not exactly, but your cakes are beautiful, you know? It's like, okay, is there any of them that particularly stands out to you? And then they'll pull like 3 random cakes or something and then send them to me. Like, okay, so what do you like about these 3 things? And then they'll tell me, maybe I like the flower on this, I like how stylish this looks, and I like the gold element on the other one. And I'm like, okay, so I've got to pull these 3 things, put it together and make you a cake. But what is your like taste preference? Do you like your cake sweet? Are you somewhere in the middle, or you don't find sweetness overwhelming? And then they think and think, and they're like, actually, I love a good cake, but I don't like it when it's too dry. I don't like it if it's too buttery. I don't like it this way. And then we start talking about them and the way they love their cakes. And then suddenly they realize that, oh, they are actually the subject of the cake that is going to be made. It is actually like peak excitement for me. So yeah, that's a long-winded answer, but I hope you kind of get what I mean by that. Zara says, I love let's see. Double-edged sausages. Yep. The better question is, what do I like to eat? Well, I told you that already, so yeah. Zara says, I love the... Oh God, Zara, you're telling me the dishes are the worst. The dishes, oh, and I don't have a dishwasher. But as an African, even if I had a dishwasher, I don't think I used to have a dishwasher, right? And for 6 years, I'd never touched that dishwasher because as a Ghanaian, I don't want to speak for all Africans because we're not a monolith, okay? I'm sorry. It's just generalization in terms of language. But I'm Ghanaian, right? And growing up, we didn't have anything like dishwasher and all these gadgets and things that are for convenience and also efficiency. Great, right? But I didn't grow up like that. And you have to wash. And back home, Dolly is Ghanaian and Double-Edged Sword is Australian, but he's in Ghana, so they will probably know this story too. Like back home, you have one big bowl. It's a plastic bowl, okay, or sometimes a stainless, like an aluminium bowl. The American people say aluminum. I'm confused. Okay, there's 2 bowls, right? You don't even have access to the sink that you go to. I don't know about you over there, Dolly. This is my story. You have 2 bowls. You fill one bowl with water, and then you fill the other with water. And then you put the washing up liquid in one bowl. You foam it up, and then the other bowl remains clean. So you wash the plates or whatever you need to wash in one bowl. You rinse in the other. And then sometimes you have another bowl or a tray that you air dry your things on. And it's a sort of unintentional conditioning when you come from that manual process of doing something as mundane and yet as essential as washing up, right? And just be careful you don't crack mom's expensive plate that she used to serve the visitor who came over the weekend or something. Anyway, I grew up doing that, and I've done that all my life. So it was a little bit of a culture shock to have all the mod cons in the kitchen in the UK when I first came here. It was such a convenience that I was kind of like, it didn't shock my system to be like, oh, okay. But it was also like, okay, we're here now. Let's make it work, okay? So washing in a sink was fun for me for a very long time because it's still a way better upgrade from where I've come from. And then we moved into a house, a place where we had a dishwasher. And for most part of my residence in the UK, the houses had dishwashers in. And yeah, this particular place I lived, we had a dishwasher. And I noticed something that was just culturally distinct and yet fascinating to observe. Especially at work, the indigenous colleagues, and I'm talking the English people, I'm not coming for you. I'm just citing something that was funny to me. When we went to work, at work we worked in groups. So if I sat with my colleagues and we all ate in at work, the other people just got up, stuck their plates straight into the dishwasher. And because it was a workplace and the plates and the bowls were cyclical, like you were not obliged to kind of wash up. In fact, it was almost encouraged that you put your dishes with the client dishes in the dishwasher throughout the day, and then you turn it on in the evening and then hand it over to the next shift, who will empty it. And they then, by morning, when they empty it, because you run it overnight and the morning comes, they will empty it. And then when they start their day, they fill it up. And then when you come back, you empty it, sort of thing. Right? So that was how it worked. So my English colleagues would just eat. After eating, if they had leftover, it goes in the bin, and the empty plate with the mess and everything on it. And like clockwork, all the people who look like me would always, when we ate, will go and wash first our plates in the sink before putting it in the dishwasher. So at home, in my head, I was like, the plate is washed. Why am I going to put it back in the dishwasher? And that was how I ended up not using a dishwasher for 6 years, because I ended up just washing my own plate. And I just thought it didn't make sense to me to go back and put it in a dishwasher to run. And then over time, when I had bigger utensils or pots to wash, it just, first of all, I needed the same pot to cook dinner anyway. So I wasn't just going to dump it in a dishwasher just for the sake of until I had enough bowls. Do you know what I mean? So I just hand washed, and just like that, I outgrew the use of a dishwasher. And now that I live here and it's I have bigger responsibility, I would love a dishwasher, but I don't have it now. Auntie Jackie is back. Auntie Jackie, we've been back. We filled the whole cake. I know I didn't tell you guys I was going to be back because I don't know what I was doing. But yeah, that's me and my dishwashing troubles. We were talking about baking, and I was asking Dolly. Dolly bakes her cakes, as in wedding cakes, and decorates within 48 hours. So I bake one day and decorate the next and finish the flowers the morning of the wedding. Jesus, that's just like that is peak time management for you. The morning of the wedding, unless it called for it, because sometimes if you're working with fresh flowers, and because I set up at venues, yes, but the morning off, I'm not trying to do anything heavy. So for instance, even when I make the cakes 4 days within the 4-day limit, the morning or when the cake is being transported, I should, especially I have traveled all the way to Windsor, which is about, I can't remember now, but Windsor is quite away from Northampton. It was more than an hour, 40 minutes travel time. Especially if I haven't been to the place for the first time, I want to be done with the cake the night before, so that when I wake up in the morning, I just can focus on the fix kit, plan my travel, determine how I am going to work this whole thing out, right? So 2 days bake, 1 day, no, that won't be me. But if it works for you, why not? Yes, Lollipop is asking, we were having a whole conversation about dishwashers and hand washing, but as a baker, it was a comment in this by Zara, our new friend, who was saying that she likes baking but hates the washing up. And that's how I feel a lot of the time. I wish I had an assistant that just did my washing up. But you know what? For someone like me, I would love someone to do my washing up. But then I will also be bugged in my head about where they've placed what I... Because sometimes there's a thing of order in your head about what you put what. And I kind of feel like if someone came to do my washing up and kind of moved things around against the order that I know it, it will mess my head up. So I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, Lollipop is asking Windsor in London. Yeah. You know what? The weekend of the Jubilee, the weekend, Lollipop, the weekend of the Queen's Jubilee, that was it? Yeah, that Saturday, I was in Windsor. And boy, what a beautiful, like, when you see Windsor Castle, right, on the television when the royals are doing their thing, it is only a snapshot of a place, like this specific place that has beautiful scenery. But even getting into Windsor, I was surprised, especially for somewhere that is almost so close to London. I was surprised by how quaint and how rural it looked on the outskirts. I was really surprised. Maybe because of where I was sometimes, so I may not be speaking for the entire landscape or environment of environs of Windsor as a place, but I was pleasantly surprised by how rural it looked and how quaint the place looked. And I'm not talking Windsor Castle, because the cake was set up, I think where I set it up, it was, if I remember the name, it's one of these old names. I think it's Belvedere Hotel. It's one of these grand old hotels that is on a hilltop. Beautiful scenery. It was the 60th birthday cake, a 3-tier that I set up. And it was so beautiful, but it was the weekend of the Queen's Jubilee. So we came home and it was a nice day. When we set it up, it was sunny, right? So I was in a rush to get there, set it up for, I think, 2 o'clock, and then head back. And at 2 o'clock, the crowd had begun to emerge and converge at Windsor Castle. So we had to drive through all the crowds because they were trying to traffic control. So there was only one way in, at least the route we used, there was only one way in where we were going and then one way out. And when you get to the Windsor area, you have Old Windsor. So I think we were at Old Windsor. It's such a beautiful place. I almost feel like I want to go back and tour like Windsor Castle. It's really, really, really nice. And then even when we were traveling back, the castle area, where the castle is set and the landscape around it is all a walled place. So you almost have to travel through these old medieval walls, or whatever it looks like. And then there are also canals. Such a lovely place, I would say. And setting up the cake at Belvedere was one of the highlights of my baking and decorating career, right? At least one of them. The other one was when I ended up on BBC. I'm like, what is that? But yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, Lollipop is a Google Maps can give you a nice, yeah, you know what? Google Maps can give you all of this because of the historical association, because the royals live there and it's everywhere in the papers and all of that. But it's a different experience when you get to see it, because I tell you what, after going through it, because if you've been on this channel, you will know I love countrysides and I like rural areas. And I've said I like the bridge between urban countryside living, not the proper rural countryside. I don't want to be living with the cows and the chickens and waking up to manure. No, that's not what I mean. But I also don't like the busy city life. So I like a quiet urban countryside living if I could afford it. So just getting into Windsor and then observing that from perhaps my limited ignorant assumption that Windsor is near London and London is busy, to be able to kind of see it in the view that, oh, actually there's a whole like quaint existence over here. That was nice. And it's a very pleasant and surreal experience if you see it away from the screens, right? If you see it away from what you see about the royals, it's actually a really like, there's just something nice about it. And that was what I felt. But you know what? I didn't kind of understand or take it in until the Queen died. I'll tell you what, during the funeral procession of the Queen, when she was being transferred from the Cathedral, London, to Windsor for the burial, there is a long walk that takes them, the hearse, from the main road and then converges into the Windsor Long Walk headed towards the castle, the St. George's Church. Is it St. George's Church or St. George's Cathedral? And that was the exact road on which we drove when we went and set up the cake and we're out. So suddenly it almost felt like, oh, I know this place. And I'm sat there looking, I'm like, look at this place. I know this place, because it's such a small, quaint area, and you will remember it if you've used the road. So when the Queen died, suddenly my little like trip to Windsor sort of made sense, because suddenly I'm like, oh, I know this road. Look at where we parked. This is where we saw who. And it was such a nice thing to remember. But yeah. Pearl says hi. Pearl, hello. And Lollipop, one of them I don't remember either. Don't you? What do you not remember? You know what? It's almost 10, 5 to 7. It's almost 5 to 7. People, let's get out of here for 7, right? And that will, hopefully I don't come back, because I've got ganache to sort out. I've got boards and I've got decorative elements to do. The name, you don't remember the name of the building. Oh, it would be lovely to kind of go on a tour in Windsor Castle. I don't know. It would be a lovely place to kind of see the exact things you see on television, if you like. You know, people who have been say it is really nice if you like history and that. I just like old places. Like old buildings and old ruins. So it will be lovely, but I have to get up, get dressed, and get on a train and then plan the trip, which can sometimes just be awfully long in my head. I don't know. You've been to Harrods. How is it? Is Harrods the way it's made out to be in television? Because when I see Harrods in telly, I tell you what I see. I see lights. But my perception is this place is damn expensive. So what is your experience of Harrods? Okay. Big and expensive for no reason. Lollipop, it's big because it's expensive. Okay? Don't be mad at it. Just make sure you have a few more zeros to your name and your account. That's all. Yeah, that's all, people. Okay, Dolly is asking, do I use white boards or fondant covered boards? And which one is best? Okay, I'll answer the best question. None of them is, one is not better than the other. Okay, so let's take away the fact that you can use either and it's okay. I just use fondant boards because out of habit, okay? And I like personally, so this is set in my own preference and my exact process rather than what should be the norm, okay? So even what I do, if it works for me, I'm not saying it's the best thing for you to do. I kind of think each one of them, whether you're using the white masonette boards or you're using fondant boards, either way, it's all okay, depending on what you're doing and what feels right and is best for your circumstance. I use fondant covered boards because it's a preference thing. I've done that for years and years, because remember, white boards have only been introduced the last couple of years. So when I started 10 years ago, I had to use like drums, what you call kick drums, these ones, and they are heavy, they are steady. That has since changed, because these days you don't even get the steadier ones. You get the flimsy ones that are hollow and are covered with the film, and they are awful and they are not even straight, and it's awful, right? But personally, I like a steady drum, because not only is it preferable for me out of habit, but it's steadier and it's stronger for me. I like it that way. And because I don't like looking at the silver bit, it just makes your cake unpolished. I cover it in clean white fondant, leave it to set, and then I set the ribbon on the base. It just gives you a clean, polished cake. I like the look of the ribbon to match what I'm doing. It's just like aesthetically pleasing for me, right? But if I swap to the white board, unless the board was sturdy in my head, and this is just my own limiting beliefs, let me just put it that way, I don't find the white boards as sturdy, okay? And then they are very thin also. I just don't like them, okay? But if I'm convinced about why I should change them, I would. And also, I think the other thing was if they were very cut, very clean, the circle. But because they are covered in the white film, like, I just don't find them very clean. And that's just a preference thing. That's just, there's really no rhyme or reason. There is no justification for why I do not like white boards. And if circumstance should necessitate it, I will use it if I have to. I don't mind it. But if I have to choose, my preference is just a fondant board because that's what I like. But what I like doesn't make what somebody else likes bad. Do you see what I'm saying? So they both exist and they are both good to use if they serve the purpose and are convenient and structurally sound to support a cake. That's all. Yeah. So Jackie, did I say Aunt Jackie? People, all right. Oh yeah, Auntie Jackie was a grease-proof. Oh, Auntie Jackie was asking, what is Harrods? Harrods is like one of the posh shops. Is it one of the posh or the only posh shop? It used to be owned by the is it Mohammed Al Fayed? Auntie Jackie, if you came to London, I'll take you to Harrods, even though we're not buying anything. Okay, we are not buying anything. Okay, Lasso Kid, I'm watching from my... Wow, Lasso Kid, is it you who moved into the new home, right? Your new flat, and now you have a new computer. Congratulations, looks like your life is coming together. Is it? All right, enjoy yourself. Is it any different? Do I look new on your new computer? Well, yeah, Harrods is a posh shop. Like, I'm trying to think about the equivalence of a posh shop. You know, that American people, help me out here. There is a posh shop with a name or a posh village where they sell things for stupidly expensive prices, like jam for very expensive price. I'm trying to think what is it's called a funny name. There's now I sound so silly. There's H in it. It's HE something, and the way it's spelled, it's not pronounced like that. Help me out, American people. I think Harrods is the equivalent of that thing. That place is in my head. I just can't say it, and because I can't remember it, but I kind of know it. Yes. No, it's not Whole Foods. No, it's not. No. Lollipop. I think Harrods will be offended if you told them it's not Whole Foods. It's this. American people will know it. It's supposed to be this place where you get all the, it's not Whole Foods, but you get all this organic farm to produce. There's a name for it. No. Is it? No. What's, apparently is it a shop or a market? Like this particular place where jam and everything else is just stupidly expensive. I'm sure I'll find it and I'll come back and tell you. It has a weird name. It's one of those names that if we were doing a game of charades, you won't win because I'm terrible at describing things. Lasso Kid says, I shop at Aldi. Lasso Kid, you're not alone. Okay, you're not alone. Because we don't have so many zeros attached to our bank account. I don't, do you? Okay. I'm trying to remember the name. Is it? Don't worry, Lollipop, if you can't remember it. I will, you know what? I'm here constantly. I'll come back and I'll tell you if I remember it. So, yeah. It is one of those places, Auntie Jackie. But I don't think the Alphayettes own it anymore. They sold it or something. I can't remember. But it is a very, besides the fact that it is huge and it's expensive to shop there, it is also like a fixture for Christmas where it's like the lights are set. Like it's just a nice Christmassy place to go to. Auntie Jackie says, I'm trying to get to the new Aldi today, but it's raining here. Rain, rain, go away. Go and come another day. Auntie Jackie wants to shop. Okay. That I'm just remembering the rhyme. Rain, rain, go away. Go and come another day. Little children want to play. Except Auntie Jackie wants to shop. How far is the new Aldi from yours? Oh my God. Lollipop. I put a picture of my snake up in a show. If you're brave enough. Okay. I don't know how I feel about it. That's okay. Let's gang up and chuck Lollipop out of here. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Whoo! Lollipop. You know what? My curious mind wants to go and see the snake. But the actual person that is so scared of watching a snake on screen suddenly feels like, I don't know how I feel about you and this snake, Lollipop. Okay? We'll see. We'll see if I'll be brave to... Is it a big snake? First of all, let's be clear so that I can manage my expectation. Is it a python you have in your box over there? What kind of snake is it? Not that it will matter. It won't matter to my fear, but I mean, just managing my expectation will help. Okay? On that note, people, let me just go away. You have a 5-foot snake in your house. Can you see me scratching my head? Lollipop. Like, why? I think I'm gonna need a cup of tea. I need something to kind of chill my heart. Like I am seriously having palpitation because I know what 5 foot looks like. People, let's just be done already, okay? Lollipop, you have got me feeling a little bit like hot and bothered. And you, Lollipop, you have more faith in that snake than I have in anything I can think of except God. Because You have a 5-foot snake in your house and you go to sleep in that house. Whoo! Me, I am 5'4.5". Don't add the half to it to make it 5'5". If I told you I'm 5'5", it's a lie. I am 5'4.5". So you have a snake that is almost my size, and you go to sleep in the same room. They can only swallow anything as wide as the biggest part. Lollipop! As wide as the biggest part of your body. Jackie. The part where you say it's in the mouth is hilarious. Lollipop, I don't know if I want to crash out or I just need to just accept defeat and just know that that's it. That's me coming to your house gone with the wind. Okay? I wouldn't even be coming near that town. You will meet me in the next town and we will go for coffee and we will prance around and I'll put you back on the train. I'll be like, goodbye. Okay. Ooh. It is 30 centimeters round. So it's as big as it's as big as it can eat. Here's me looking for my ruler to see what 30 is, because a 10 inch I think is 23 centimeters, isn't it? Okay, so that's an okay. So it is only as big. You know what, people? I'm gonna. Can you feel? If the snake was here, I wouldn't be feeling this way. But the thought of it has kind of had me wanting to crash out a little bit. She's probably about my wrist. Oh, Tabitha. The hubby is in hospital. Sorry. How are you though? I thought you were just running an errand. We hope he's okay. We're sending you our prayers. You didn't say, but it's okay. We hope he's okay though, and you are okay too. Hey. Lollipop and the snake though. Well, for those of you who have already seen the snake, good on you. I'll see if I have the courage. Tabitha, on a serious note, let's leave the snake over there. On a serious note, we're sending Tabitha our prayers for her hubby who is in hospital getting an x-ray done. Okay, Tabitha? We are sending you our prayers. In his stripes we are healed. So whatever is going on there, may the Lord and his angels guard you and give you healing in your body. Okay, my people, it's 7:15. They're still washing up, and there's still lots of things I have to do for cake. I still don't know if I can manage to come back or not. I'm not set on it. But if you check back in and I'm here, we'll hang out again. If I'm not, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, my dear. Happy baking. See you soon. Bye. Tapita, I'll catch you on the other side. Auntie Jackie, I'll see you soon. And Lollipop, hugs to you and your snake. Goodbye. Lasso Kid, have fun in your new apartment.